Greetings, the Tonic Man with you once again. Wow, this is already way over 25 years we have been doing this podcast, and we have not covered the world yet, folks, so we depend on you to pay it forward. Please pay attention to everything we say because it is of utmost urgency and importance. The most important part of this wonderful preparation my father developed so many years ago that has basically changed the lives of tens of thousands of people for the better is that it is a youth solution. Yes, that's correct, a youth solution. About maybe 500 years ago or so, Juan Ponce de Leon landed in Florida, and apparently, as the story goes, he was looking for the fountain of youth. Well, all those years later, my father seems to have found it when he began working on his preparation, actually in 1922. By the early 40s, he had it completely to the point where it was indeed keeping people's bodies younger. He started. Oh, by the way, I'm talking because we always want to talk to the new people who are joining, the new members who have not heard very much of the history. So for those of you who have heard some of this or all of it before, just hang on with us because it's so important that everybody gets the story. So my dad was working on this in 1922 because he had a shortage of oxygen when he was mountain climbing. He was an amateur mountain climber, but pretty good, and they went pretty high. And one time he had this shortage of breath that he thought if he fell, he'll pull everyone down with him, so he better see what he can do about it. And he was studying the plant kingdom at the time, and he thought there must be something there because that's where it all is anyway. And so he did discover how to start improving the oxygenation of his blood, but he did not notice and did not realize until people started remarking to him, because he was making little batches, little sample batches, giving them to people to try. Hey, try this. You're getting energy? Do you have better wind? Can you run faster? Can you mountain climb better? Whatever. And they started reporting other things. And he started thinking, what's going on? Well, what was going on was he was developing a catalyst, so to speak, for the blood. And it was not just starting to oxygenate, but it was starting to clean up the blood supply. And then he realized as he was studying and learning that, of course, the blood is the lifeline. It carries everything to everywhere. It pulls out everything that's supposed to be pulled out to get rid of it and out of the body. It delivers hormones. It delivers oxygen. It's the uptake of nutrient elements and so on. So he realized this touches every part of the body. So we now know that it covers from the tips of the toes to the follicles of the hair, because we have stories from people who say, their gray hair is turning back to its normal color, or their hair that's falling out has stopped falling out, or their hair that was not growing has started to grow a little bit again, and the tips of the toes that were starting to get numb, and in some people's cases they actually discolored and they were going to be probably facing amputation. The toes started turning back to the normal color. And he knew that this was all to do with the blood supply, the circulatory system. Now, there are some statistics out there. As a matter of fact, there's a really good book that was written by a lady doctor, and I'm going to cover that another time, but she covered so many aspects of the body, how it functions, and so on. And I think she said there's maybe 60,000 or 90,000 miles of circulatory system, 60 or 90. That's a big difference. But look, if it's 60, is that ever a lot? If it's 90, it's a lot. The circulatory system is in every aspect, every part, tips of the fingers, everywhere in the body. And if the blood is clean and able to do its job, then it can look after that part of the body, the organs, the systems, and so on. And what happened was that as people started to use this, they started to look better. be younger in their gait, in their attitude, in their mind, in their thinking, not just in the skin starting to tighten up and maybe the bags not being as big under the eyes or lessening completely. Things were starting to change, and he knew that that's because the better blood is starting to clean up and look after all the systems as it used to be when you were younger. In your 20s and 30s, you never looked back, but we were burning the candle at both ends, and we thought we're infallible, but we were not, and we are not, and we are all growing old no matter what. Look, I'm pushing 87 as I'm speaking to you today, and I still don't use any of those systemic meds that everybody seems to be using for blood pressure, for cholesterol, for blood sugar, for pain, for, a host of things that people are using on a regular basis. When I cut myself, it heals in 3 days. My body seems to have a very strong immune system that goes to work. I've seen other people who cut themselves maybe the same way I did, and it festers for 3 weeks, 6 weeks. Who knows? Because the body's not healing itself. And that's what the body does. It's the healer. It's the thing that looks after you. It looks after a cut. It looks after keeping you from getting a cold. Or if you boost it when you have a cold, the cold disappears much more quickly. So if you use the youth solution, which is what we are talking about today, JC Tonic, the youth solution, take a look at our company logo. What does it say underneath? It says Sempre Viva, and that translated for all you folks is live forever. Now, we're not going to live forever, but what if you were able to live your last 30 years of your life, say from 60 to 90 or 100, in great shape? What a quality of life where you could actually still understand what people are saying, still focus, still remember phone numbers, still get down on your knees, maybe slowly, but play with your great-grandchildren or your grandchildren, and all those things that make a better quality of life instead of just shuffling to one doctor's office after another, looking for something to retard your death. Because that's what we're facing. We're all going to die. Doesn't matter. We'll be going to a great spot. I hope we all do. But in the meantime, why don't you have a great spot right here on planet Earth and live a fuller life? Because what's happened over 80 years since my dad began to commercialize this preparation in 1943 are tens of thousands of stories of people that tell us they no longer have any of their health issues or a lot less of them. Now, this is not a cure for any of the health issues. It just seems to happen when the body improves itself and starts to look after itself once again, like it used to when you were younger and you never complained about any health issue and you never went to a doctor. Now you go to doctors and you have health issues. Well, these folks are saying those health issues are disappearing. Well, I can only believe that it's because the body is improving, or, as I like to say, getting younger. So it is a youth solution. And if you drink it, doesn't matter what age you are now, you will start to feel better, you'll start then to look better, and you will indeed begin to be younger. And that's the key, folks. And that's what this preparation is all about. And that's why I have been doing these podcast conference calls for 25 plus years, because I want the message to get out to everybody that you do not have to live like you are living with all the health issues and the misery. You know, I've been talking to people for 50 years on the phone. I've heard every horror story in the world. Everybody who drinks of this preparation looks better, feels better, and indeed is younger. And I'm now speaking still to folks that started this 30 and 40 years ago. They've been on automatic shipment, reoccurring order every month for 30 or 40 years. They and their family and a few friends that they share with, and they all feel better. They all go to doctors less or hardly. They all don't get colds anymore, or very seldom, or if they do get one, it's over quickly. They all have more energy. All of them have a better memory, and their mind is not fading as many people do in their 70s and 80s. So no matter what age you are, if you're starting to feel out of sorts, you're starting to go to the doctor with complaints of this, that, and the other thing, try this, because just maybe your body also will reverse and regenerate. This, folks, is like you taking your automobile to the repair shop and having some maintenance done periodically. When you go and fetch the car and you jump in and you turn it on, it's like a new car. It starts better, it drives better, it's quieter, it hums along. And maybe when you brought it in, it wasn't humming along so greatly until they did the maintenance. And the body, our human body, and your animal friends, all your four-legged friends, they all have blood. So don't forget them. Include them when you take your measure of the youth solution. Give them a few drops in their drinking water or mix it in their food, and watch and see how they also will be younger, stay younger, live longer with less health issues. So anything that has blood, it works. Okay, I'm going on and on and on. As you can see, I can talk about this forever. And if I do, it's like 40 hours. But we have a really great call tonight with a super duper guest, Betty, our friend and our pal, who has been drinking this for many, many years, staying young. And there's a bonus to this. There's a jackpot. Let me ask her just to talk about it and tell everything. You will understand when she starts to speak.
Hello, Anthony. It's been a little while since we chatted.
No kidding.
I wanted to try to convey to people how wonderful this company has been to me. Anthony included, his dad included, for many, many years since 1989. When I was first introduced to the tonic, I was having a couple of health issues, and it worked very, very quickly on me. I was able to give out a couple of bottles, just to kind of test them on people, and they worked very well on people. And so I continued to do this, of course. That was the whole purpose I got into it, was to help others feel good with their health and to help animals as well. One of the first people I introduced to the product was my veterinarian, and he had amazing results, which was great. And I had lost a dog previously to a heart issue, and he had tried everything to save her life. But when I gave him the tonic, he said to me, "Betty, if only we had this product when Tammy was still alive," he said, "it would have maybe saved her life or helped her tremendously." So when he said that, I said, okay, I got to start sharing this product. It was never with the intention of selling it. I knew nothing about the marketing plan, knew nothing about the business. But I was very fortunate because one of the people I introduced it to at the beginning of all this was a woman who had a spa, and she was involved with her sisters, and she started sharing it, and they had amazing results as well. And she started sharing it. She knew the business. She was a smart gal, but she knew the product worked. So my very first check, which was pretty good, was $900, which was more than I made in 2 weeks at my 9-to-5 job. So during this time, we had a video. Dr. Carl Jurak was on that video, and it was called Building on Destiny. And I started looking at that video, and every time I saw that video, Carl just hit me so hard. And he hit me in my heart because I could see what a loving and caring man he was and how much this product meant to him. And Anthony, of course, was on the video as well, so I got to know them through a video at first. And showing that video brought in a lot of business, but it was the tonic, too, that brought in the business to me. Right about this time, my mom had taken sick, and they had diagnosed her with an aneurysm in her stomach, and they could not operate. they told us that if they even attempted to operate, she wouldn't make it. She was old and she was frail. So within a year, I found myself in Hawaii. I was still working 9 to 5. I found myself in Hawaii, and I got to meet Carl in person and Anthony in person, and that confirmed everything to me that I really had to do this business full time. I met people from all over the world who told me incredible stories, and it was just a wonderful gathering of people who offered love and who offered hope to others about a healthy future. So when I came back from Hawaii, I quit my job and just continued to do the tonic on basically a daily basis. Sometimes I took days off, obviously, but I do little meetings which are fun, and little basement meetings, and I'd go out and help people with their business as well. But after 2.5 years, my mom actually passed away, and I think back that if it wasn't for the tonic, I would not have been able to spend an extra 2 years with my mom, taking care of her every day, sharing memories, doing special things. And that's when it really hit me that this business was something that everybody should look at, because it does give you an added opportunity to be with those you love and to share special times, special memories. And to this day, I still do the tonic because of the extra money that I earn, but, I never looked at it that way, and I don't think most people do. I would have people coming to me and saying that because of it, they were able to, pay a car payment or pay off a mortgage that month or whatever. And it was just something that doing good work and helping others and helping animals, and you see the rewards, that something special is happening in your life, and you're doing it for the right reasons, that you're even getting paid for it. So I've been so very fortunate after all these years, to help so many people. My brother, I ended up working at home for my brother for many, many years and helping him as well financially. And unfortunately, he passed away last year. But I spent so much time with him, which I never would have been able to do working a 9-to-5 job. So we really should look at this as something that's blessing our lives. And even if, when you start out, you're not making that much money, you're making maybe retail money, an extra $75 a month, or you get on an auto ship plan, you can get more people on it, you get your bottles for free. There's so much more to the business end of it. And at the same time, you're basically helping others with their health and with their finances. And today, the way inflation is, everybody needs that extra little bit of money, even if it's a little bit, to get them through a month of bills and payments. So I would just really like to say that, our product is the most special product in the world. There may be other companies out there that offer many other products, but look at the bottom line. Look at what it's doing for you and your family and your animals, and just keep the dream alive. Anthony always used to say that, keep the dream alive, and you will do well. Don't give up. Not everybody's going to seize the moment. Most people. In my case, that happened. A lot of people told me I was nuts. They put me down. And I just knew in my heart what was right to do, what I had to do. And I could see, I guess, the vision more than some people do. But, you can really help others. And I think when you're doing good work, you feel good about what you're doing. You get up in the morning, and you say, well, I'm going to call a few people, see how they are today. since they've been on the tonic. And there's other companies out there. Maybe they have better compensation plans. I don't know, because still to this day I don't concentrate a lot. I just know that every month I'm getting a commission check. This came really clear to me in the last several months. I ended up picking something up which was really much too heavy. Then I should have had more brains than that, but I didn't. It was much too heavy for me to pick up, and when I picked it up, I heard something in my back crack, like literally crack, and I almost ended up on the floor. Spent the next almost month in bed. I was in so much pain, and I got to be honest with you, the juice really, really helped me out with the pain. And then I finally sprang back. But then about a month later, I ended up tripping and falling, having a bad fall, and I ended up breaking my elbow quite badly. And so I've been sitting at home for the last month, not really going anywhere except to the hospital back and forth, and hopefully that'll be finished soon. But again, taking the tonic has really helped with the pain. They gave me drugs to take at the hospital after I had the surgery, but I didn't take them. I just took extra tonic and really never experienced too much pain. But one of the nice things was that when I checked my back office to see how I did compensation-wise, there was quite a bit of money there. And I said that to my husband. I said, I haven't done really very much with the business because it was awkward for me to get on the computer. And I said, look at all the commission money I got just for staying home, just for doing nothing. And so, with the realization again of how important it is to do the business, even if it's a little bit, but how important it is too to take the tonic. So I'm very thankful. Yes, still going strong. I'm 72 years old and looking forward to many, many more years. Hopefully no more accidents. That's my story for today.
Well, Betty, your story is far from ended for today. Sorry to tell you, because you told me over the last maybe 5 years, you helped your brother Bill. I know you would give him $2,000, whatever it was. Talk a little about how you have the reserve and the earnings that you could do things like that. Or maybe you'll have plenty in case there's an emergency and things like that, because you're right.
Yeah, well, that was money, I had on my commissions, and I decided to cash it in to help him. And times were very, very desperate for him, very, very desperate. And I can't tell you how much it meant to him and how much it meant to me that I could actually go into my account and withdraw money, basically to save his life. So
and you saved his horse, and you spent money on that as well. And your other animals, your dogs, and your own horse.
Yep, my cat actually, he took sick this year. I ended up getting another $2,000 for him, and I was able to when my brother passed away. He had a horse, and I ended up taking the horse. He gave me the horse to take care of, and I made him a promise actually on his deathbed that I would keep that horse. So I've had him at a private stable now for the last year and a half, and I made a promise to Bill that I'll never go back on. So
you're paying the board, and you're looking after the horse as well.
Yeah, paying everything for the horse.
And that's exactly the message for everybody out there. They all can do that, but yes, it's 75, then it's 150, then it's 300, then it's 500. Because if you really do the mission, you really do not have to worry about the commission. You haven't worried, and you haven't thought about it. It just happens. It comes there, like that very first check you got, $900. You didn't expect it. You didn't know how it happened. It just arrived in your mail or your bank or however it was sent.
Well, I always believed, and Carl always believed, and you've always believed that this is a God-given product. There's something so special about it, so special how it can change your life. And, all those times, when I was so desperate to help others, to help the animals, to help my brother, if it wasn't for that money, I don't know what I would have done. I don't know what I would have done. So, it is from God. It really is from God. And, yep, I've always believed that.
Yeah, and when you got the commission, it was only because you maybe actually really did save some lives.
Yeah, I did.
At least made them more comfortable or less sick or less problematic.
And I gave a lot of hope. Hope is one thing, that people need, especially when they're going through some very, very difficult health challenges and also financial challenges, but you need hope. Yeah, so I was lucky to do that. I'm still lucky to do that every day.
And you still talk to people every day, and I know you have a couple of thousand people on your phone list because you like to talk to them on the phone and see if they would like to help a few people. What do we say here all the time? Pay it forward. It's a health crusade. We've got all those wonderful slogans and sayings, and those that do it like you are in the same position. They have a little reserve. They have money coming in. They're able to do some things that maybe they would not have been able to do because of it. And it's all based on the fact that they helped somebody. They actually helped somebody, and that somebody has a better life because of them. Well, you're right. What a great feeling to have.
When you offer a special for people, when you say I have 2,000 people, that's a lot of people, and I don't call 2,000 people, believe me. But I have a whole list of everybody in my group. And when you offer a special, I'll definitely get on the phones. Even though you send out emails or you send out text messages, I'll definitely get on the phone and I'll sit down, and it'll take me maybe a week or so. But I'll call everybody. A lot of people just pick up messages. I don't get them on the phone. But those I get on the phone, I'll talk to them and I'll ask them if they got the email or the text, and I'll make sure they know there's a special. And I'd say 8 times out of 10, those people ordered a special. And even just looking at the emails or the text, they do that. So you're very generous. You're very generous this weekend to offer a special to veterans and for those active in the military. And you do offer the occasional special, which is great. It helps people out. But you can always get 2 extra bottles for free when you do the special. So that really helps boost your business too, as well as get the product out there. So I want to thank you for that. I know, when I talk to people and tell them about the special, they'll all say, that's wonderful, I'll be ordering, and they always do. And you can pretty well count on, when you're calling that many people, that a lot of them are going to order a special, and that month your commission check is really going to go up, which is nice, of course.
Well, they can also take advantage of a special like that. And then when they actually do some retailing to folks, friends, family, strangers, anybody around them, they can make a more handsome profit, their retail business. So, yeah, there's many ways that people can capitalize on those specials we do. And we do them for special reasons, for special people. And so it's easy actually to do, is what you're telling people.
Definitely. When we have the special, you can easily make at least $150 or more. So get those specials out there. You get a few people that you've signed up and they do the specials, you're making good money. Can really help a lot more people and animals doing that too.
Well, you notice, folks, that Betty just said, and animals too. It's a huge, huge market if you tap into it, because look at the kind of money that people have to spend when they go to a vet. It's very pricey these days. Yep. And maybe the tonic would be just as it is with humans. It may solve a whole lot of problems for very, very, let's use the word, very cheap, because this tonic, for what it does, is really the cheapest health insurance in the world. Just have a look and let people know, and they'll realize it.
Any new people that I sponsor who buy a bottle, I always ask them if they have any animals. And then we'll get into the animal end of it. What kind of dog? How much does your cat weigh or whatever? And I'll advise best I can what they should give the dog. I have one gal registered, I guess, 4 years ago, and she has a beautiful golden retriever. The dog was diagnosed way back then with cancer, and they only gave the dog a couple of months to live at the most. They were spending a lot of money on veterinarians, and that dog is still alive today. Her name is Heather, and she orders every single month for her dog as well as herself. And most of my clients, is not an older person, she's a young girl, but most of my clients too, they're mostly older people, and most of them do have pets for companionship. And if something were to happen to their cat or their dog, they can't afford to go to the vet, and they can't afford to lose them either. That animal is their best friend. It's really a joy. since I got into this for my dogs back in 1989, that was one of the best gifts she gave to me, was knowing that I could have helped her, and I might have been able to help her if I'd known about it. So I do it in.
Well, now that you're talking about all this animal stuff, it's going to remind me, folks, when we send this call out by email, we will attach to it a chart of how much you should give to your animals. And you will notice when you get it, there are not only dogs and cats, there are pigs and lambs and goats and whatever. People have all kinds of pets or farm animals or whatever, horses and so on.
Of course, because the tonic offers more oxygenation, like 32%, when you take an ounce of it, you can get a racehorse or a Grand Prix horse on this tonic, and you're going to see some differences in their racing times. Believe me, trainers, at the big track, they want that second edge or whatever. So if you can get some trainers on this product, boy, oh boy, you're going to do really, really well and help a lot of the animals, because they end up being put on so many drugs. Most of them are illegal, but unfortunately some of those trainers do get away with it. That's just the way it is. But yeah, you can help get a Derby winner, a Preakness winner on them. See what you can do to help those horses too, because a lot of them break.
Well, maybe we better ask for a bigger contribution for anybody who has a horse that wants to win the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, send out some bottles to those people and just let them try the product for a month, and they'll see in their training times some big differences, I'm sure.
Absolutely, they will, as people do with their own human body. But it's amazing how people will sometimes spend more on their animal than themselves. So, folks, if you're in that category of people, then spend it on the animal. At least one of you will be healthy in the house.
Yeah, well, that's what I do.
Well, Betty, this is great. I'm glad you also brought up all about the animals and your brother Bill and his horse, and how you're keeping the horse and so on. And folks, we are an animal nation, an animal two nations, Canada and the U.S. are animal lovers, and anything that has blood this is going to work. So please do give it to them. Betty, your message to everybody covered a lot of ground. And what's so important, especially as you said these days, with everybody getting crushed by this inflation and by the high costs of everything, a few extra dollars will do an awful lot for the household. And all you have to do is help thy neighbor. You just have to think of your friends and family that are sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're cringing every day. They're on all kinds of medications. They're not getting well. Just let them try the tonic. Things will change for them so enormously that you'll have helped them. And look, you'll help yourself a little bit as well.
And so many people have had to take a second or third job just to earn that little extra. Well, give up that third job and the second job. Keep your first job until, the tonic.
Until you can get rid of that one as well.
Let that second job be your tonic job and build that. You can do it.
That is a great suggestion. Folks, do it. All righty. Betty, wonderful messaging.
Thanks.
Okay, I appreciate you. Thanks an awful lot. By the way, how long have you been doing this now? Since 1989?
Yep, since 89.
And the beauty, folks, is you can start anywhere. You can start today. Doesn't matter.
Age doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter. You can start when you're very young. Tell all your young friends, your college friends, or when you're very old, tell all the seniors.
If you're young, you'll tell people that they can stay younger, more energetic. And I did that when I was younger in my 20s, and I gave it to girls who 10 years later, they look 10 years younger. I kid you not. If you have a look at Betty these days, let me tell you, you'll never give her your age. And there are other folks that I talk to on a regular basis that have been drinking this for 40 years. They all look 5, 10, 15, 20 years younger. They all have more energy. They all no longer go to doctors, or very seldom. They all no longer get a cold. They are really a much younger person. I guess that's why maybe we call it also the youth solution because it'll do that for you. So Betty is a great example. Hey, Betty, we need a mugshot of you to send out to let people know that you might be older in age, but you sure are younger the way you look. Boy,
well,
oh boy.
I'll see what I can do. You know, it's funny. First time I'd been to a doctor in a very, very long time was when I broke my arm, my elbow there a month ago. And, you know, just sitting there looking at these sick people, like, again, it really, really hit me, you know, how sad, you know, these people were with all their problems. And it just kind of broke my heart. You know, I hadn't been to a hospital in years. I don't even know when I was. It's been that long.
Yeah, the doctors should be there for broken arms and surgeries and important stuff, but not just to administer some pill because the sugar's too high, the blood's too high, everything is too high. Yeah, balance. We need balance in our lives and in our bodies, folks, and this will do it.
Yep.
Betty,
anyway, do what you can, and don't get if people you love say no, because a lot of people I loved said no, and a lot of people I got involved in this product who made me a lot of commission money were total strangers, but they were very appreciative of me helping them out. So just go for it. Keep a good head on your shoulders, and if they say no, don't be discouraged. You know, you might get 1 or 2 yeses out of 10, but those 1 or 2 yeses can change your life. Change your life and change the world. Yep, for sure. Yeah, we are worldwide.
Betty, we're worldwide. Yeah, that's true. We can ship to any country where you have family and friends. Just let us know, or let Betty know, or call home office, and we'll tell you what it is. Some of the countries are already on the website. Why not get the rest of your family better shape wherever they may be living? Betty, thank you very, very much, and much appreciated. Okay.
Oh, not a problem at all.
Don't forget, you take an ounce and feel the bounce.
That's right. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Jurak Classic Whole Body Tonic is a dietary supplement, not a drug. Therefore, it is useful to affect the structure and/or function of your body in various ways, but it is not intended to and will not cure, mitigate, treat, or prevent any disease. Individual testimonials may not be everyone's experience and do not constitute scientific evidence. Jurak Corporation does not make any drug or treatment claims for its product.